Asmongold, I mean, he just gets dumber and dumber and dumber every single time he puts out a new video. He just gets dumber and dumber. Let's get into why. First of all, let me just state, I'm not one of those people that want to hate on Asmongold because he's dirty or because his house is dirty or because he plays video games all day. Whatever it is most people say about him. I don't really care about any of that. I actually think he's way smarter than people give him credit for. So when I open the video off by saying that he gets dumber and dumber, that's not me saying he is dumber and dumber. His content is getting dumber and dumber because he's so smart that he knows that that's what he has to do if he wants to continue to keep his stupid base. He's a grifter, and one of the biggest grifters, of our day. And that's just the facts of the matter. Anyway, so he sucks off Alex Jones pretty hard in this video, and I want to discuss a little bit of it. It's a 40-minute video, so I'm not going to watch all of it, but I want to get into showing you guys just exactly how pathetic this guy is and exactly how pathetic he'll go and be just to entertain his ridiculously brain-dead base. Anyway, let's take a look.
Insane Alex Jones conspiracy theories that have turned out to be true? Is this...
Right away, Alex Jones conspiracy theories that have turned out to be true. Okay, first of all, I know because back in the day, I was an avid Alex Jones fan. Years ago, back before he was ever mainstream or before even YouTube. Like, that's how far back. I remember when people used to hand out CDs of Alex Jones's radio show. And I could tell you emphatically, he's never been right about anything. Anything. Nothing. This is complete horseshit already right from the jump. He has never been right about anything. And when people say, well, he's been right, anyone can make generalized sweeping statements and then have some of that become true. I could sit here and I could say, I guarantee you that the market's going to crash at some point. I guarantee it. People want to think I'm wrong, but, you'll see, Alex Jones, you'll see the market's going to crash. You'll see at some point. I'm not going to give you a date. I'm not going to tell you what day. I'm not going to tell you when. I'm just going to say it's going to crash at some point. And then when it does, see, I was right. Anyone can make the assumption that somebody in a position of power is corrupt. Anybody can make the assumption that some people in positions of power might belong to some secret societies. Everyone knows that if you've gone to Yale, you could be Skull and Bones. If you've gone to any of these Ivy League schools, there is a certain amount of Masonic stuff, Knights of Columbus. People know that these groups exist, and they're not really that special. They're just meetings and, whatever, in most cases. But anyone can make the assumption. He's never out and out said so-and-so is doing X, and then it turns out to be true. Anyone can be like, somebody that's involved in politics is involved in a human trafficking ring. Okay, who? What are you talking about? There's a whole lot of wealthy and powerful people. Who are you talking about? He never gave real names. He never gave real information. He said the stupidest shit that the most generalized stuff that would obviously be correct at some point. Whenever he's actually tried to give it any detailed information, like the Sandy Hook shootings, and he came out and was like, oh, Sandy Hook, blah, 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 blah. It's all fake. It was all actors and this, that, and the third. That definitely wasn't true. And it was horrendous that he even made those statements to begin with. He's another grifter. So you have a grifter praising a grifter. These people don't give a shit at all about truth. They only care about, let me check the temperature. Let me find out what people want me to say. And then they're going to say it. That's the difference between me and those people. I am never going to be that way. And it hurts me algorithmically. It hurts me with YouTube. I know that I could sit here and regurgitate nonsense that I know you want to hear all day and probably go viral, but I'm not interested in doing that. I'm interested in being a true voice who speaks my real take on stuff, whether or not you like it or not. I just made a video that Drake was the GOAT. You think I thought that for a second that I was going to become popular with that video? Of course not. Of course not. Because, you know, people have to be in the closet about liking Drake. Because if you bring, everyone I talk to at a personal level is like, oh, I love his music. But nobody wants to come out and say it because there's some sort of like, it's like Nickelback or Coldplay. It's like, there's some sort of like weird, like, oh, you have to hate them because that's what cool people do. Whatever. I don't care about grifting. I'm not here to grift. I'm here to speak the truth and give you guys an honest take and be real with who I am. And these guys are con artists, Asmongold and Alex Jones, point blank and simple. Alex Jones has never been right about anything other than generalized statements that anyone can be right about. Anyway.
Okay. All right.
Alex Jones has been trying to warn all of us for decades. He's accused powerful people of hiding their evil acts in plain sight.
Yeah.
Now I have to get the shit Bohemian Grove information out.
And then he was also right about Bohemian Grove.
He warned us about the elite pedo rings.
He was the guy who told me about.
He even brought up Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein's island.
Jerry Epstein.
More than a decade ago.
Clinton took multiple trips to Epstein's private island where he kept young women as slaves.
They fly famous, rich scientists and politicians, and they compromise them.
So Alex Jones was reading a news report. Alex Jones, right there, when he mentioned Trump and sex slaves and Jeffrey Epstein, he was reading a news report. So who really was right? Alex Jones or the news journalist who broke the story and went and investigated it and found it out? Now, granted, Alex Jones, and I'll give him credit, to his credit, he was one of the few people that would bring it up. It wasn't like CNN was talking about this. But at the end of the day, he was reading a news report. Anyway, continuing.
With underage girls.
Police infiltrating protests to turn them violent.
Alex Jones had a great video called 9/11, The Road to Tyranny. It was the first time I really understood that agent provocateurs are a government strategy.
He even warned us about Bill Gates.
And I've seen Bill Gates say, we've got to get this down to 0. And he puts his clicker and puts an image of a human up there.
Most people dismissed him. A lot of what he said was absurd.
Gay people, I don't like them putting...
Right, so Bill Clinton wanted to get rid of humans. He was right about that? That he pointed a clicker at humans and said, we need to get them down to 0? Alex Jones has been one of those loud people on the idea that Agenda 21 is real, that they want to kill off the human population, that like, and all this type of stuff. None of that stuff has ever been proven to be true. Now, you could say, yeah, but diseases spread. Look at COVID. Okay, so what about the millions of pandemics that have wiped people out and killed people for thousands of years before Alex Jones ever existed? What about that? I mean, it's fucking ludicrous.
Turn the friggin' frogs gay.
But the more prominent he became, the more these warnings took their psychological toll, sending him spiraling deep into alcoholism, which pushed him to even more erratic behavior.
I think that unleashed him. I think the alcohol might have unlocked his potential.
Behavior that would one day...
The alcohol unlocked his potential. Look at these idiots. Lord Draxus. They took him out because he was right about everything. The frogs are gay. I mean, this is the most low IQ. This is the most low IQ shit I've ever seen in my life, dude. Oh my God. These comments are crazy.
Destroy him completely, almost like it was done by design, by the very people.
The guy is a visionary, somebody said. Alex Jones is a visionary. Oh my God, man. This country is so doomed. This country is so fucking doomed. There's people who think Alex Jones is a fucking visionary. Oh my God, dude. This guy sold people fucking like who knows what the hell were in these pills on his website, InfoWars, selling merchandise to a bunch of fucking meatheads. Oh, I'm going to get you all freaked out and in a panic about things, and I'm going to scare you, and I'm going to tell you that I'm the insider and that I know what's going on, and then you're going to love me, and I'm going to sell you a bunch of shit you don't need on my website. And that's what he did. Even his wife has come out and said Alex Jones doesn't even believe 90% of the shit that he says. She even came out and said that. And then you wonder why he got fucking sued and why he got taken down. And let me tell you something, guys. Anybody watching this, I know I'm not huge, so I know I probably don't have a lot of people watching this, but anybody watching this, I want you to ask yourself, okay? Where is the truth? Where does it live? We know it doesn't live on TV, right? We know that you can't believe what you see on TV. We know the truth doesn't live on the internet. Okay? We know the truth isn't on the radio, right? We know the truth isn't, random people walking down the street. Okay? We know that's not the truth. Where is the truth? Where does the truth live? Well, the truth lives in the only two places where you could be in serious trouble if you lie. Where are those two places? One is quarterly earnings. Earnings calls. When companies have to release their quarterly reports, they can't lie. If they're found lying, they're in big trouble. That is a huge crime. So there's some truth there, okay? Where's the second place? A courtroom. Now you might say, yeah, but people can lie in a courtroom. People lie in a courtroom all the time. Sure. And when they're found to be lying, they get prosecuted for it. You get prosecuted for what you say in a courtroom. So, for instance, you take a Donald Trump and you take him going on the media on the news and saying, we've been frauded out of the election. We've been frauded out of the election, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes in a courtroom. And when he's in the courtroom, what does him and his lawyers say? They say, we never said we were frauded out of anything. Why? Because you can't just say whatever you want in a courtroom. You just can't. Because you could be in big trouble. In fact, there's a lot of people that are in the Trump administration that have blatantly lied before a Senate hearing. And that's a criminal offense. However, because Trump is the current president and in power and in charge, he's not going to let anybody prosecute any of them. But make no mistake about it, power shifts. And we'll pretty soon have somebody else in office. And when that happens, that's when you're going to wind up seeing people getting punished for violating the law. Because the bottom line is that the law is the law. And it might take a long time, but eventually it catches up to you, right? How long did Diddy get away with the things he was doing? How long did Harvey Weinstein get away? How long did Jeffrey Epstein get away with the things he was doing before it finally caught up to them, right? It does catch up to you because the law is the law. And that's where the truth lives, in a courtroom, okay? So where does Alex Jones exist? On the internet. Is he saying anything that he's saying in a courtroom? No. Did he walk back on half the shit that he said on his YouTube channel when he was pressed, when he was on the stand in a courtroom? Yes. Anyone who watched that trial, I never said that. I don't know why you're saying I said that. They'd be playing audio recordings right here when you said that. What are you talking about, Alex? Oh, well, that's not what I meant. I was trying to it's like, that's where the truth lives. And so if you guys really want to know the truth, that's where it lives. Do you understand what I'm saying? Not with the shit that people just, howl on the internet. Where does Asmongold live? On the internet. Okay? You guys seeing a reoccurring theme here?
People he warned us of. Because over time, piece by piece, parts of what he'd been saying started to surface.
I did take those plane trips with him.
But by that point, it had already cost him his entire life and reputation.
I don't know it is not going to work that you are going to...
made obsolete by our own creation.
You see, Alex Jones wasn't always such a mess. He wasn't this alcoholic Adderall addict, saying whatever he can to get clicks. In fact, in 1995, Jones was just a local Texas news reporter, and he was...
Yes, Alex Jones. Like, I think he grew up, like, he was in Austin. My mom would watch Alex Jones on public access television.
Yeah,
handsome.
because your mom is an old fucking boomer who he wanted to deteriorate her brain cells by making her afraid of things that weren't true and fed her brain with bullshit. Asmon. Okay, so make no mistake about it. That's why. Okay? You saying, my mom used to listen to him on Access told. Yeah, and then he created his radio show, and then he went on to, like, spread a bunch of bullshit on the radio, like his little radio thing that he did and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, it's a part of the John Birch Society movement. If you don't know what that is, give that a quick Google.
And eccentric, although still grounded and tuned into reality. He liked a bit, but not too much, and he was proud of being in good shape.
I do drink some alcohol, though, and I probably should quit doing that because it makes me fat when I drink 2 or 3 beers before I go to bed.
His driving force back then were his worries about expanding government power.
Okay, I don't care about Republican Democrat. I care about getting my taxes cut. I care about getting government cut.
His biggest claims to fame back then was when George Bush had him dragged out of a press conference for challenging him while being governor of Texas.
About this.
Sir, shouldn't we abolish the Federal Reserve and the CFR?
And he was convinced that governments everywhere by nature are controlled by a shadowy group of elites. But back then, it was the Council of Foreign Relations he mistrusted most.
Imagine that. He thought that our government was controlled by a shadowy group of elites. And then he goes on to say it's the Council on Foreign Relations. What was true about that? Nothing. Nothing was true about that. Because if they had any power, Trump would not be president. And if any of you think, oh no, that's because they tried to screw him out of it, but then Trump fought back. Give me a fucking break, dude. They would have made sure that he wasn't with us. If anything that Alex Jones was saying is true. In fact, the only person that I've ever seen during my lifetime that got into office and did 90% of the corrupt shit that he accused everyone else of doing is the current guy that he supports. The current guy that he supports does all that stuff. Where is he on Peter Thiel, who's building databases and profiles on all Americans right now? Where is he? Where's his voice on that? Nowhere. Nowhere.
And now
they're saying he doesn't support Trump now. The only reason why he changed on Trump was because Trump came out and bashed him. Because Trump turns on everybody who helps him. That's what he does. In fact, Alex Jones is the real cult leader. He had a cult following. He had a cult. And Donald Trump knew that. That's why Donald Trump went on his show right before the election in 2016 so that he could get his cult to vote for him. And then he hijacked it. Those people that were storming the Capitol building on January 6th, Alex Jones fans. Alex Jones fans. Trump took his cult. He stole it from him.
It's
real reality that
But do you think he came to his aid when he was going to court? Do you think he came to his aid when he was being sued? Do you think he came to his aid when he was getting kicked off of YouTube? Do you think he's ever come to his aid? No. And he's leaving him hanging out to dry right now because he does not care. He just recently insulted him on Truth Social because he doesn't care about being loyal to people who are loyal to him because he's a piece of shit.
you will talk about most of your members.
Through history, governments have always been dangerous. You know, a certain elite controls everybody. Until we realize that Republicans...
There's a certain elite. There's a certain elite that controls everybody. Imagine that. Wow. You're a fucking psychic, man. Where did you get all this information? There's a certain elite. There's a certain elite out there that controls everything. I know exactly what's going on. There's just some certain people out there in the elite worlds, these certain people that up in the elite clouds, and they just run everything. And this motherfucker's over here, Asmongold, is right about everything. I mean, or Alex Jones is right about everything. Asmongold is over here saying Alex Jones is right about everything. And look at it. Look at this. Let me see. Deep state. People still saying deep state. The entire government has been replaced by people that Trump put in office. And they're still saying there is a deep state. They still think that there are people, the shadowy people that are in control. As Trump is doing crypto scams and getting money illegally from our enemies to do their bidding and starting foreign wars illegally with no congressional backing and doing all this criminal shit. And at the end of the day, they still believe there's a deep state. Asmongold's base is the stupidest, dumb as a box of rocks group of people I've ever seen in my fucking entire life on this planet.
And Democrats are the same people
Wow.
at the top. Two sides of the same coin, puppet A and puppet B. We are not going to effectively change this until we are honest about who we're up against.
Back then, Jones had no idea who he would one day become. The US presidential candidates would invoke his name on the campaign trail, and he had no idea how this success would eat away his sanity and his entire life, driving him so deep into alcohol abuse that he just became unrecognizable. And that the war—
I have to tell you guys a secret.
Oh, tell us, Asmon, what's the secret? What's your secret, buddy?
I was walking to my podcast, and this is the one that we filmed with ICE. And I met a guy that was just totally randomly. He was a guy that worked at InfoWars, and he works with Alex Jones. We exchanged contact information.
Oh, I'm sure you did. I am sure you did exchange contact information with people who worked at InfoWars. I mean, that's your base, right, Asmon? That's what you're going after? You're going after the MAGA Alex Jones cult? That's your grift? I mean, of course.
This happened a week ago.
Look at him.
We had a very interesting conversation.
Oh, bet you did. He's so proud of it. He's so proud of the grift. He's like, I am the new guy holding the torch. When Trump is no longer president and Alex Jones is washed, Asmongold is going to lead the way, and I'll be the new guy that you guys could listen to that'll confirm all your fears and continue to, pump shit into your heads and fucking have no, I mean, dude, he doesn't even have, I mean, dude, there are videos of Asmongold saying that he supports Israel or saying that he doesn't support Israel and that he's against them. And then all of a sudden it's like he flips the script and then he supports Israel. And like, I mean, dude, he doesn't have a spine. None of these people have a spine. What is wrong with you people that you watch this shit? What is wrong with you people that you watch this shit? These guys have no spine. No moral compass. Don't give a fuck about anything. They just want to follow the trend of whatever the fuck is going on, whatever idiots on the internet want them to say, they'll say it. If it became even more and more popular that the earth was flat, they'd all be saying that too, because they only care about views and clicks, and that's it. Money that they're making. You want to talk about a conspiracy? That's the real fucking conspiracy, is that you guys, you the viewer, you live in a world where you can't trust any fucking thing that anyone is saying to you. Because we have gotten so completely engulfed in doing everything for incentivization. Everybody's trying to do something because they're being incentivized now with money. Everyone's trying to be rich, trying to be famous, trying to get views, do whatever it takes. No one cares anymore about honor and respect and class and truth. Everybody only cares about anything that'll get views. And that includes the mainstream media. However, and that's another point I'm going to make, this is the mainstream media. This is the mainstream media. I'm going to give you guys an example. All right. Let's take a look right now. Let's go to YouTube and let's take a look at CNN. And here's a video that they just released. Well, we won't do them like that. We'll find something that they released like a while ago. Okay. We'll find something they released a while ago. Like a day or two. Well, how long did Asmongold release this? When did this get put out? 7 days ago? All right. So I don't know if we can. Yeah, let me just click on CNN and let's scroll down here and let's look for. Okay, we could. There's 5 days ago, 10 days. Here's 7 days ago. Okay.
Explosive new reporting.
This was released 7 days ago. 7 days ago. Okay. How many views has it got? 170,000 views. CNN. 170,000 views in 7 days. Asmongold. 2 million. 2 million. He's 10 times the views. 10 times the views of CNN. Do you understand what I'm saying? So don't tell me that CNN is the mainstream media. Don't tell me that Asmongold is the rebel and the underground media and the new media. No, Asmongold is the mainstream media. That's exactly what mainstream means. It means what is the most watched, the most obvious, the pop success, right? The mainstream, like mainstream music. Justin Bieber, Drake, right? Mainstream music. What is the mainstream media? Asmongold. Okay? That's the mainstream media. Elon Musk, when you sign up to X, Elon Musk has it so that you get notified whenever he makes a post. Within 48 hours, something like a few 100 million people get notified when he makes a post. A few 100 million in 2 days. Joe Rogan. We can go on and on and on with this. This is the mainstream media. You want the truth, you need to go to professional news outlets that have actual investigative journalists that are actually doing their job to do investigative journalists. Now, I'm not saying that the news is always correct. They get it wrong a lot. But that's part of journalism. Is as facts are coming in, you're changing the story because you're trying to be first, which is the problem with journalism. That they're all trying to be first on the story, which results in often having misinformation when they first release stories. But as it comes in, the story unravels, they continue to cover it and continue to investigate. That's how the news works. You think Asmongold gives a fuck about integrity? You think he cares about, like, what does he know? What the fuck does Asmongold know about the government and politics? Is he educated? Did he go to college? Does he have any knowledge about how government works? Does he know anything about, like, traveling? No, he's a fucking idiot in his house who became famous because he made lots of World of Warcraft videos. And this is who you're supposed to listen to now to get all your opinions from. We are fucking cooked. We are cooked as a fucking society. Do you understand that? When people are tuning in to Asmongold sucking off Alex Jones, we have lost as a society. And I'm not going to watch the rest of this because it's just infuriating that there's idiots that believe this shit. But anyways, I'm the Hip Hop CEO. Thanks for watching. We really got to do something about this. Hey guys, click that little bell so that you can be notified when I make videos in the future. Please like this video. Likes are very important, and leave a comment. Thanks for watching.